What's up, team? Time for that staff video update. Thanks for coming to staff meeting this week. That open enrollment competition is still going on. So I'm not even sure what team I'm on, but I'm done. So if you need to, add that as a to-do today. Just a little incentive because, everybody's watching this, and the first team to kind of get done automatically wins, or the collection of teams. So there you go. There's a little friendly reminder. I wanted to basically take the next 5 minutes and really take the verse that we talked about at our staff meeting and give it kind of another step, especially practically as we interact with Dream Team. And this is something that we're starting to, we're trying to find ways to help more people do this in a way that's helpful. And so the verse, if you want to pull it up, it's Proverbs 29:18. And I am particularly enjoying the Message version of this. The context of where I heard this verse was at the summit. Pastor Mike Todd referenced the Message version at the start of his talk. And it just sent me down a rabbit trail of other application points that I think is fascinating. So I'm going to read it to you. If you want, you can follow along. It's, if people can't see what God is doing, they will stumble all over themselves. But when they attend to what he reveals, they are the most blessed. If we can't see what God is doing, we stumble all over ourselves. And a lot of that can be with good intentions. It can be all of that. That's true in the spiritual journey. And so the goal, the reason we talk about the spiritual journey is not just so that when you go to the weekend, you go to groups, you go to growth track, and you serve on a serving team. Those are the practical environments where we get to attend to what God is inviting or revealing us, the ways that he's inviting us to make a next step or to help someone else take a next step. And so our role is, we believe the weekend service is a great environment to help remind people, to provide a catalyst for people to know God. For some people, it's to introduce people to Jesus for the very first time. And for many of us, as we open up the Bible again, it's another reminder of who God is and how he wants us to relate with him in our everyday life. That's really the bullseye of the weekend service. Introducing people to knowing or following Jesus for the first time, and encouraging all of us to continue to live from who he says we are, to follow that trust path. Now, where we talk about that and begin to practically live that out is in relationships with the people around us, which is why we invite people into groups. It gives a practical environment for people to find freedom in groups where they're in conversations where they are struggling to live out the application of what we just heard. And so, man, you can hear a message, but then when you can sit around with a group of friends or people who are on the journey with you and say, hey, I'm really struggling with this area of my life. It's powerful. I know you all know this, but it's just helpful to keep these pieces right in front of us. The third piece that I'm really excited about leaning into and helping people engage in more is discovering your purpose. In other words, knowing the unique way that God has wired you. So here's what I want you to do to accomplish that today. I have included a PDF of the spiritual gifts that are included in week 3 of Growth Track. I want you to pause the video right now. I want you to look at that PDF and read, yes, out loud, every gift. You don't have to read all of the passages, but you're going to read every gift. And when you're done, hit play again. So go ahead and do that right now. Thought that would be a fun face to freeze on. Some of you need to freeze now, pause, whatever. Now, you've read through all the gifts. Now what I want you to do, which you may need to pause again, is I want you to know your top 3 gifts. And admit, so if you're like panicking, like, I don't know what my gifts are, mark today in the calendar as the last day that you don't know your spiritual gifts. Here's why. If you don't remember them and if you don't know how they apply to what you do, you're going to struggle to help other people see the unique gift that God has in them and how it applies. So find your gifts. If you need to take the assessment over, you got to go through all 4 weeks of growth. No, I'm just kidding. But you may want to redo week 3 in order to get clarity on your gifts. And here's what I want you to do. A lot of times there'll be like 5 that tie. Usually there are 3 at the top of your list. And so what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you find someone else in the building. If you're meeting as campus teams, you can partner up 2s and 3s. And what I want you to do is I want you to think about your top 3 gifts, and I want you to explain to someone else or the person that you're meeting with how your gifts bring a unique expression of God to whatever it is that you're doing. Before you do this, I'm going to give you an example of how this applies in my life. and a couple of other circumstances, okay? So for me, my top gifts are leadership, teaching, and encouragement. And so when I am at my best, I am using the gift of influence to help move people in a particular direction. That's what leaders do. They help move people. It's not so much about the job. It's about getting involved in people's lives and accomplishing something together. That's the gift of leadership. When I'm doing that in an environment where I'm also teaching. I'm helping the practical truths of the Bible come alive for people in ways that they can understand. And number 3, I do that in a way where people feel like they matter. That's the unique way that God uses my gifts. When I am at my best, we are moving the ball down the field as we live out the practical principles that the Bible or Jesus teaches us. And we try to do that in a way where people feel like they matter, where they are being encouraged. And those are my favorite things to do. Okay? Some of you have experienced me at my best. When I'm not at my best, I'm struggling through some of those areas. And we all have those moments. But that is the unique expression of God that I bring to any situation that I come in. When I am aware of that, it doesn't matter the job that I'm doing as much as it is the unique way or the unique gifting that the way that God expresses himself through me. For example, I talked to a guy by the name of Richard. Richard took the spiritual gifts assessment. He was trying to figure out where to serve. His top gift was administration. And I looked at him and I said, well, here's what that means. Richard, I want you to think about a job that you can do, but the reason you're going to sign up for that job is not because you can do it. For example, if you want to be a greeter at the door, that's fine. That's a great job. But what you're going to bring to that role is also an awareness to how we're getting things done, because you have a unique way to bring order to chaos. That's what administrative people do. They can take what seems disorganized and they can put a structure to it in a way that helps make sense and makes it more efficient for everyone. That's an incredible gift to a first-time guest. That's an incredible gift to a team leader who may not be experiencing some of the complicated ways we're trying to roll things out. I want you to bring that gift to whatever team that you want to serve on. And he's like, I'm in. I was talking to Sean. Sean's in my life, just finished week 4. Finished week 4 of Growth Track, and he told me his gifts are leadership, faith, and prophecy. I think those are the 3. And he's looking at me like, I don't really know what that means. Like, yes, I know I'm a leader. I'm a team leader at work. I want to be a team leader. And I said, hey, Sean, I kind of walked through it this way. I said, here's the thing, Sean. Leadership is your top gift, which means you are never going to be satisfied just accomplishing a task. You were designed to move people in a common direction to accomplish a common goal. And what you're going to do in that role, the task matters less than the role you're going to play in people's lives. And with the gift of faith, you help believe for people in ways that they struggle to believe in their own faith. You can pray prayers. You can give encouraging statements. Don't confuse it with the gift of encouragement that help inspire people to trust God. That's your unique expression of God that you can bring to any situation. And the gift of prophecy, some people think of it only as being able to tell the future. That's a very limited role of what prophecy is. A prophetic person, especially when you look in the Old Testament, is a truth teller. They are someone who shows up and they can speak the truth clearly and courageously, even in adverse situations. So I said, Sean, here's the deal. I don't care what role you take, but you're going to need to develop the gift of leadership and put yourself in environments where you're going to help people's faith in God come alive. And also capture those unique opportunities to give encouraging, maybe even sometimes, not all the time, challenging truths to people, because God's wired you to do that. That is the unique way that God shows up through you in whatever capacity you serve within a local church. When I got done with that, I could have had a form for serving in Cedarville, and he would have been like, if that's the role, there's a part of him that's like, man, I would love to do that. You could almost see that part of him come alive. So I want you to look at your gifts. I want you to take your top 3 and begin to articulate how God shows up in a unique way through you. And what's cool about this is it's not about us. My gift isn't about how amazing Ben is. It's really about how amazing God is when I am faithful to the unique gifting that he's given me. The better we can help people see this, the more they will attend to what he has revealed in their life, and the more blessed they will be. And so what I need each of you, especially at a campus level, to be aware of is if all you're talking about is the role and trying to match role up with title, you're going to miss potentially the unique invitation to help their gift come alive in whatever setting. Because you know what? Honestly, you need almost every single gift in Cedarville. You need almost every single gift on the arts team. You need almost every single gift on First Impressions. And when you begin to tap and speak and cast vision around the unique gifting of each person in light of your context, and when you encourage that gifting, when you see it at work, because you're going to learn people's spiritual gifts and go, did you see what you just did there? When you help people attend to what God is revealing in their life, they're going to feel blessed. They're going to be excited to come back. They're going to be like, wow, that was amazing. And it doesn't need to happen all the week. Every weekend, but it needs to happen on a consistent basis. And so I want you to practice that right now. Practice sharing how your unique gifts reveal God in the role that you have. And if you need to, help each other do that. I think this will be a fun exercise. So that's all I got for you. Practice that, all right? And then let's learn how to bring other people along on that each weekend. Thanks.